Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about a point that people often forget when it comes to their training, and it's because people try to just push more volume than they can really handle. And I'm not talking about reaching an overtrained state. That is actually very, very, very difficult to do. The last time I personally managed to have symptoms of overtraining, I was training 7 days a week. And I don't recommend anybody do that, by the way, and it took months before that happened. It took months. But that doesn't mean that it's optimal either. So, here's the thing. You have to remember that our muscles grow when we are resting. They do not grow in the gym. We are stimulating them in the gym. Now, I'm not going to make that silly analogy, oh yeah, because the training breaks muscles down, and it's not necessarily the case. That isn't actually always true, and breaking a muscle down isn't always required for muscle growth. That's, again, what some of the data seems to be showing. But what I am saying is that training all the time, lifting all the time, doing more volumes than you're personally benefiting from is probably not helping you grow. It really isn't. It may not be hurting you in some cases, again, because if you're not overtraining, it may not be necessarily hurting your gains, but it's also not doing anything for them. Okay? Because again, we grow when we're resting, we grow when we're sleeping, all of these other things. And I would suggest to a lot of people that they really put more focus on that. Put more focus on your recovery, hot baths, getting quality sleep, rather than adding always more training. And again, I'm not saying that adding more volume for your weak points can't help. But just pounding away on more big lifts beyond a certain threshold isn't doing much. And here's usually a good rule to use for that. How much is your strength going down? In other words, even if you know what you're capable of fresh, let's say, that fresh you're capable of doing 225 for 12 reps on an exercise, but you then have it far enough into your workout that you can't even get 185 for 8 to 10. Okay, that's a dead giveaway. You're just exhausting yourself. You are literally doing nothing. You were doing nothing but stimulating more of those lower growth threshold muscle fibers. And again, I'm not saying that intermediate and some of the slower twitch fibers don't grow, but they cap out much, much faster. That once you kind of get through the newbie phase, really it is the upper threshold muscle fibers that are going to be most of your muscle growth. So if you're coming in just beating away with low quality sets because you're that fatigued, right? You're just not doing much. It's not helping you to the degree that you think it is. And yes, it may be stimulating some additional growth, but then it's like, how on point is your recovery to benefit from it? Okay? Because I don't think that there's necessarily anything as true drunk volume. We do use that term when we add volume that we don't get any training stimulus from. Okay? I don't think we reach that point very easy. I think even that 25th set, as long as it's a hard set in a workout, still is probably stimulating a little bit. But your recovery better be on point. It better be on point if you're doing that. Your sleep hygiene better be perfect. You better be sleeping 9+ hours. You better be eating 300 grams of protein, so on and so forth. You guys see where I'm going with this? And I think that's a point for a lot of people. They want to train for hours. They want to lift for hours, but they don't want to live some sort of crazy perfect lifestyle to actually benefit from it. Well, if you're not doing that, you're just beating yourself up and wasting time. Okay, you're just wasting time. And I still tend to contend that the majority of people can maximize their gains for their lifestyle. Again, for their lifestyle, probably an hour, hour and a half tops, the absolute most lifting, 4 days a week. I never prescribe more than 4 days of lifting. I just don't. Now, could you come in and beat your weak points longer, sure. But that's kind of where you have that extra wiggle room. In my case, someone like me, I really need more arm work. My arms tend to lag, relative to my other muscles. Someone like me, of all people, could probably benefit from that extra 20, 30 minutes sometimes of arm work a couple times a week. I don't think you need to have separate days for it. That's kind of silly. But I could sure tack it on at the end. Probably benefit. But we're still back over to all your main work being done within an hour. Right? Still only training 4 days a week. Again, I've seen it many times with clients. I've had clients who are still novices come to me. And you look at the programming they're doing and they're like, oh, my bench isn't going up. I'm not getting any bigger. None of this is working. And then I count it and they're literally doing 25 sets for their chest in a week. Because they found some program, some influencer put out, and it doesn't work. I take them down to 10. Quality sets, high quality sets where they're really pushing it with good form, but pushing progression on it and making sure those sets are hard. Lo and behold, they put 10 pounds on their bench for their work sets, and then 15 pounds for it when they were stuck for months. They start filling out a little bit. They start getting bigger because why? Well, if your work sets on your pause benching go up 15 pounds, you're going to get bigger. Your pecs, shoulders, triceps. Again, talking about good form, talking about my guys actually pausing, controlling the weight. I don't mean bouncing it off their chest so they can get 15 more pounds, right? I just think a lot of people out there, unless their lifestyle is really on point, probably need to be doing closer to 10 to 12 sets of muscle group a week. Quality sets. Again, unless you can live a perfect lifestyle. Now, if you can do that, I think you can definitely get away and even benefit from more. But how many people really are going to do that? We have to be realistic about these things. Right? You have to be realistic about these things, and people aren't. Okay? But if your sets are high quality, they're nice full range of motion, you're pushing progression, using pretty decent form, you'd be surprised what you can do on a lot less than you think. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.